Hi, guess I'm live. I almost forgot to put the announcement I was going to be on. I think I only gave you like 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, I was out to the barn today and saw my horses. I was trying to wait for a rainy day. That's what I thought today would be, except they kept pushing back the rain and pushing it back. And the last thing I heard this morning was it wasn't going to start raining till 4 o'clock. Well, hi, Cafe Lily. So, that's when I do my YouTube. So I went out there early, about 1 o'clock, and I spent a couple hours talking to Judy. And you love my shirt? Yeah. Yeah, I wear this a lot. Hi, Bumblebee. Yeah, I went to see my horses today. I was waiting for a rainy day so that they'd be inside so I could groom them and, have more hands-on with them. But of course, it's a beautiful day outside and they were outside. But Judy was there and we talked for a long time. And horses, I don't know if anybody are horse people there, but to go out on the new spring grass, they have to be sort of weaned onto it, okay? So Judy and the barn girl that works in the barn, they have been taking my 2 horses, along with a couple others, out. You start with just a few minutes and work up to, a half hour or so, and then they're allowed to go out into the pasture, into the big pasture where, and the reason being, spring grass has a lot of sugar in it. If you would just put horses out immediately, they just gorge themselves on this grass because it's so good. And it would make them colic. Colic is just really a bad tummy ache, but horses can die from it. So they've been working on my horses along with some others that taking them out. They're up to 20 minutes, I think, now. But they were outside in the paddock. I went into the paddock and gave them some carrots. And Echo almost, as I was going out toward Preacher, Echo was behind me. And I felt something on the back. I swear he was trying to get the phone out of my pocket. But they followed me out. They're just in a small little herd of 4. But all the horses knew I had the bag of carrots, so they all followed me over. And Preacher tries to keep everybody away because he's the head of the little herd, and he wants all the carrots. But everybody got some carrots, and Judy did take a picture of me out there. And I will put it on, if I can get it off of the text, I'll put it on Facebook or Instagram. It's just me standing out there with it. It's not a video. So I got that taken care of. I brought Judy eggs. I took out 1, 2, 3.5 dozen of eggs to her. And she cooks a lot, like I've said before, and she is going to start to make her pierogies. She makes gigantic pierogies and sells them. So she's going to start making them again. She makes them around Easter, and then she makes them again other times of the years. So she took a break after Easter because she gets so busy at that time. But now she's going to start up again and make some. That means I'll get some pierogies. Yeah, she gives me mine because I supply her with lots of eggs. She also gives me all kinds of goodies. She didn't know I was coming today, though, so we just talked for quite a while, had some iced tea together. And yesterday, the day before, I put some things on, and I got some sales. And my List Perfectly is working again, so that's good. So I transferred everything that I'd put on eBay, and I transferred it over to Poshmark. You had a bad storm come through at 1 a.m.? We didn't get that. I mean, today, early at 1 a.m.? No, we got nothing. I think we were supposed to get some rain around 9. It didn't even sprinkle or do anything. And then it got real sunny all day. Now it's sort of clouding over a little bit, but I don't know if we'll get the rain or not. But my lawnmower guy got here. He was getting here just as I was leaving for the barn. Now, also this morning, Jolene, who walks my dog, came, and she has a handyman in mind for me that she is giving. She just texted me his phone number. He can't do the deck, but he can do other handyman stuff for me. So that's good. I'm going to get in touch with him. And also my lawnmower guy, his nephew does building stuff. So he's going to come out and look at what I have here as far as the deck goes. And he's going to use up the wood that's here and build whatever he can, extension onto the deck. Then I'll have to figure out what to do with the rest of it, because I don't have it quite enough here to do the full deck. But we'll see how it goes. And as far as getting a hold of my policeman friend, I have not, he has not answered me yet. I will try again on Facebook. It's the only way I have to get in touch with him. He probably isn't on there all the time, so I have to keep putting it little, things on. So Jolene, my dog walker, she had something similar happen to her years ago. And what she did was just call the police. I said, well, they live in Akron. She says, it doesn't matter. Call Medina Police and just tell them your situation and see what they think about it. So I may do that too. So those are the things I'm going to try. In the meantime, I am still waiting for a gardener guy that's supposed to get in touch with me. And now I have two, a handyman and another guy that's going to come and survey the deck situation. So hopefully I'll get some sort of something built. Sue, hi. Yeah, I put my announcement on like really late. I almost forgot about this. It snuck up on me. I knew I had to do it this morning because I went to the barn just in time so I'd be back for it. And Michelle came out and picked up all my blankets, and I gave her a few other things. And I gave her my riding boots, my high English riding boots, just to see if they'd fit her. She's going to take them home and try them on because they don't zip open. They are just pull on. They're hard to get on. And I gave her the boot pullers to put them on with. Once she gets them on, they're also hard to get off. You almost need another person. I didn't tell her that. But if they fit her, she can have them. If not, I want to put them online because, high English riding boots go for good money. And she brought out a bag of some things that she was cleaning out her closet. And she brought me a few good things. So one thing she brought me, I mean, it isn't real high end, but this little purse, I mean, it's a good, pattern, snakeskin pattern. It's not real leather, of course. It's just by Nine West, but she's only used it a few times. It's really clean inside. And she also had a fake Gucci bag. She lived in New York. She could get all kinds of fake stuff on Canal Street. Yeah. I have a fake Fendi. Is it Fendi? I think Fendi briefcase upstairs. But it's from Canal Street, so it's not real. And I said, you take that Gucci right home with you. I cannot sell that, or even you can't sell it even if you say it's fake, because you can get kicked off for sure. So she brought me that purse, and then she brought me 4 pairs of shoes. I haven't cleaned them up yet. They need cleaned up. One are these shoes. I don't know if she used these for work. She said these were really in style back when she was in New York. Well, they're back in style. I hate to tell her. Yeah, these big clunky shoes. These are by Bass. They're not, really high-end brand, but because of the style, I should be able to sell those. These are all, I think, 8.5. These shoes. She also, these little sandals, kind of cute. I never heard of this company. Ditto by Van Ellie. They're just little brown sandals. She said she just had one outfit that she wore it with, and it's the only time she wore them is whenever she wore this one outfit. So then she had these pair of Nike Airs. They need cleaned up. I'm going to clean them up really good, because she says there's no bend to them. And evidently that's how they're supposed to be. She says, I never had a pair of, she must have tried these on before she bought them. I don't get it. But when I look these up, they are sort of vintage. I mean, they count as vintage. The tag is on the side, not on the tongue. So there are numbers and things I can look up. I did find one pair of them on eBay line. And there's some numbers right here I can look up. But they are Nike Air athletic shoes. And then this was funny. She shows me that, she says, before she pulled them out of the bag, she says, now you're going to think these are really ugly, but they were really in style. And she says, they're called Dr. Martens. I says, I know very well Doc Marten shoes. So here she had a pair of them, and they're in really good condition. So she didn't wear them much. Doc Martens you have to break in. They're very stiff to begin with. She bought them new, and they have the Doc Marten insignia and everything on the bottom. You can see that. And they are in an English, the sizing is from the UK. But yeah, so I have a pair of Doc Martens to list. I'm just going to polish them up a little bit, and they're in really good condition. So that was a nice surprise that she brought me. She was just going to throw them out. I said, you were going to throw out the Doc Marten shoes? So I said, don't throw things out from your closet till you pass them by me, please. So she didn't bring any of the clothes. I'm sure she has clothes, some clothes too, that she used to wear in New York. But anyway, I gave her some makeup and things that were left over from that thing I got from Wholesale Ninjas. the makeup, the eyeshadows that were broken. She took them gladly. And a couple other things. Like I had one tube of toothpaste and some other stuff that I wasn't going to put just one of. So I know you can save the things, and then if you order bigger boxes, then you'll have things, you'll get the same stuff. You can make lots. But I thought, well, I don't know. When I got this haul from Bumblebee and then got the haul from thredUP, I have all this clothes to put on. And when I started to list the clothing, it was so much easier to list clothing and shoes than the health and beauty. I'm sorry, I'll get over here. The health and beauty items, because I don't know about listing them, and it took me forever. I zipped right through the few things I put on. However, then yesterday, yeah, they should sell really well. Yeah, the Bull Brown sandals and the Bass are sort of bread and butter. But that's good. I listened to Suzanne A. Wells on her What's Sold video. She does a month at a time. And she had decided before the pandemic and everything happened that she was going to only list things that would sell for $30 or more. But she sort of have changed her tune, and she put some lower end items on, and she's been taking lower offers just to get her sales sort of giving them another jump start, because her sales were down too. So after listening to that, yesterday I took several lower offers, like $15 low, nothing lower than that, on some things. And sales, if you make sales, it does sort of jumpstart things. And so I got another 3 sales after that, yesterday or last evening, and then today I've just had 1 sale so far. But the sale I got today was from an offer I sent to Watchers for $20, so that's all right. Yeah, so yesterday what happened to me, I didn't do much of anything on any platform yesterday, except I did put on that, what's the name of it? The Majoral, that long fur faux green fluffy fur jacket, because we found out that that's worth a lot. So I did put that on. It's the one thing I did put on. And I'm taking Bumblebee's advice to try. And the other couple things that were high price, I'm going to put on. I haven't measured them yet. But yeah, the jacket that I was thinking maybe I should give this to my granddaughter. No, I'm going to list that one. Yes, my thoughts were confirmed when she mentioned in that video that it was her higher priced items that sold for full price. Yes. Yeah, I was surprised about that. So a whole different group of people look at those items. I think that's what that means. Bumblebee, you got a free pair of Docs and polished them up and sold them for $150. Ooh, good. Yeah. Yeah. So I was happy about that for sure. And free. Yeah. So I hope she doesn't throw anything. God hope she didn't throw anything out that I don't know about. But she has a friend of hers that he's a pretty wealthy guy, and he's an older guy, and he does a lot of redoing cars. He does mostly race cars. He knows race car drivers, and he sells car parts to these race car things. And he wondered if my daughter would help him list the stuff, because he doesn't know anything about doing that. And he usually sells things at swap meets, that's it, and things like that. Or he just puts them on Facebook and sells things locally. But I don't think he wants to ship the stuff. So he'd still have to Michelle would still have to list them on probably local Facebook marketplace for him. But he will pay her for doing that. So her old bar job called her back. And I think she's going to go back to the one she was working at before, because it was such good money. So the granddaughter jacket's worth even more than the green one. Wow. I can't believe that box. I just can't. Because I never got the assorted clothing one, which this one was. I think that's what it was called. But yeah, other people have, and they didn't get near. They got a lot of Old Navy stuff and, not high price things. So you never know. You just never know. It's a chance you take. But even though she got Old Navy stuff and she got a few good things, it would have at least paid for her box, because it's $60 for the box, and you get 25 items on that box. So I don't know. I have to get through this stuff first. Lots of stuff hanging upstairs to be photographed yet. So I made tea. It's my second cup of tea, because I had tea out with Judy too. Iced tea. We had iced tea. We stayed 6 feet apart almost all the time, but we were outside. When we were a little closer, like 3 feet, we were outside, and the wind was blowing. But yeah, just because some sellers give stuff away doesn't mean we have to sell it so low. It's just waiting for that big fish to come along. Somebody that knows what it's worth, really. Yes. I've never gone on that Revolve. Is it, I assume it's a web page? Is that what Revolve is? It must be a selling platform. Yeah, I went to the barn. I'm not afraid to go to the barn anymore. I've yet to go into a grocery store yet, though. And probably, I told my daughter, it'll probably be years before I go into Walmart. But I may venture into a grocery store. I'll give it another month. We'll see. Actually, I like to have groceries delivered from Aldi. It costs more. You're not saving that much at Aldi when you do that. And the curbside delivery from Giant Eagle is free to do. So that's just as good. But Giant Eagle is more expensive. Their groceries are. I don't understand how sellers on eBay sell stuff for $5.99 with free shipping. I don't either. They can't be making anything. American sellers, you don't get it. Yeah. You think you're going to Aldi tomorrow? You haven't been in over a month. Yeah. Well, I keep looking at Aldi, but the parking lot is jam-packed, and our Aldi isn't all that big. So I'm thinking those people have got to be more than, less than 6 feet apart. Yeah, no Walmart. Walmart's parking lot has never ceased to be full. Those are the people that just didn't care, I guess. It never closed, and the parking lot was always full because it was the one store that was open. But I started to say, Dan, hi, you're from England. Oh, welcome. Everybody here knows that's the one place that I always wanted to go and never got there. Yeah, I listened to several people from the UK, Shelley and Nick and Andrea, and several of them. Yeah. I'm trying to get an English accent, and it just hasn't worked. In Target, yeah, my daughter says Target's better. She's been in Target. Aldi is crazy. Yeah. I have, my walking stick that I use sometimes if I'm going to walk around the perimeter of my acre yard here. I have a big long walking stick, and it's not even taller than me, so it's only like 5 foot tall. And when you think 6 foot, as tall as my husband was, that's quite a distance. I don't think anybody's staying 6 feet apart. It doesn't seem like it. Yes, welcome, Dan. Come on over. I would love to, except now I'm afraid to fly anymore. I don't fly anywhere. And that's a long flight. Yeah. You have Kroger. That's not as expensive than Giant Eagle, or not as crowded? We have Kroger someplace in the area, but nothing in Medina. We don't have Kroger in Medina. We have Heinen's, which is very expensive. But I don't shop there because of that. But yesterday, the reason I didn't get anything done is I started to watch CNN yesterday about everything that's going on, and I got so depressed, so saddened, so depressed, I didn't feel like doing anything. So obviously I didn't. So today, I can't do that. I can't do that. They do have senior shopping times. It's at 6 a.m. Yeah, 6 a.m. 6 to 8 or 6 to 7:30. I'm sorry. They couldn't make it any later. Suppose they have to make it that early. They have senior times at Giant Eagle too. You can go in. I don't know about Aldi. They might too. But I've been pretty happy with the delivery from Aldi. Only once did they not send what I wanted. This last time, they just forgot it altogether. I needed like 6 cans or 4 cans, whatever, of chicken broth. I use that if I'm going to make chicken soup. I use canned chicken broth in it. So they refunded me right away when I let them know, but I would have much rather them run me out the chicken broth, but they don't do that. So the next time I'm going to order from Giant Eagle just a few things, and I'll order it from there. Right after you get up to go to the bathroom, you're supposed to go grocery shopping. Oh dear. Yeah, I do get up early. However, I don't get up at 6 or 5:30. I'd have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. It takes me a long time to get dressed and get going. By the time I get up, I get dressed, or I take a shower, do all the stuff I have to do. I never get downstairs before 7:30. I mean, before 8:30. We always used to wonder what in the earth Mom does in the morning to get ready that took her so long. Well, I know now. It's just that we're slow. Senior or vulnerable shoppers hours. Yes. The Aldi website says Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 to 9:30. Now that wouldn't be as bad. That's at least doable. I could do that. I'll have to see if mine does the same. Those darn compression socks, they take a lot of time. I don't even know how you get them on. Like I said, I tried them and sent them back. I couldn't even get them on. Yeah. So that is what I'm going to do. Hopefully, I don't think there's anything. I have watched a couple Prime movies on TV on my laptop in the evening. Feel-good movies. I didn't even watch my normal mystery thriller things. I watched just a couple feel-good movies, both of them being about horses. Dexter is up taking his nap. He had his long walk this morning out on the roads with Jolene. My chickens have been out in the big yard and they're back in. I gave them some watermelon. Oh, that's what I want to tell you. I have, maybe I told you this before, in where my chicken coop is, it's in the corner, it's built into the corner of my garage. I have a 2.5 car garage. It's built in the corner of my garage. It's 10 by 10, I believe it is. And it's locked up tight like Fort Knox, but I have a family of raccoons living in my garage. I never see Mama Raccoon, except out at night, sometimes raids my bird feeders, which I can see her because one of my bird feeders is right outside the window. And I can see because the bird feeder starts swinging and I know she's on it, and I'll go sneak over there and then put the flashlight on. And she usually runs, but sometimes she doesn't even run. And she's big. She is a big mama. But she has 2 youngsters, babies, in the garage. They're like, I don't know how old. They're about this big. Their body is about this big. They're fat. They're a little chunky. And then their tail, of course. But at first they just peeked out at me over the overhang. They're way up by the rafters in the overhang. They peeked out on me and I kept talking to them. And every night I'd go in after dark and I'd talk to them and they'd peek out at me. And now they're actually coming out and crawling around the rafters when I talk to them. They haven't come down, but I've now, I know you're not supposed to do this, but now I'm leaving dishes of cat food out there in the garage for them. I'm not sure how long little raccoons suckle or nurse. I think they're past that. But she raised them really good. They're nice and chunky. But tonight I'll leave them a piece of watermelon and some cat food. And for Mama, I leave her food too, but it's outside. I leave her food outside with a pan of water. And they like to dip their food in water. And the water in the garage that the little youngsters ate all the cat food, and the water was all gone. They must have been thirsty. So I will do that again every night. My daughter also feeds raccoons on her front porch. She just buys big bags of the cheapest cat food you can buy, dry cat food. That's what she feeds them. So Dexter goes in the garage every morning and sniffs. I mean, he knows there's something in there. And he hasn't seen them. He just sees chipmunks and squirrels scurrying around. But it's my life here on the little homestead. Lots of little wildlife. And hopefully I won't forget some evening to shut up my chickens really tight, because that could be really bad. Not that the little ones could do anything. They're too little yet, but Mama sure could. Yeah. I don't want her using my chickens as a teaching experiment. So I guess I will close for now. In Erie, there were a couple of, notice in Erie that there are a couple of rabid raccoons around. Yeah, they can get that. Soon I'll have Shirley's Raccoon Ranch. Hopefully she's not pregnant again. Yeah, that could very well be. If they come in season, I think right after they have babies for a while, like a lot of wild animals. So I had a family a few years ago. I had a family of 3 little ones that I had taken pictures of too. How I discovered them is they had gone down into a barrel, you know, like a garbage can barrel. It was open on top. There was stuff in there, and they had somehow gone down in there, and I don't know if they couldn't get out. It's hard to believe they couldn't get out, but I heard the noise, and I shone my light down there, and these 3 little faces looking up at me. That was like 3 years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago. So I had another family back then. And then I didn't have any raccoons for a while until this year. Yeah. There's a very interesting PBS special about raccoons. Raccoons are one of my favorite wildlife. I used to paint a lot of raccoons. I used to paint wildlife. I think that because of their little face, probably raccoons I painted the most of any wild animal. But unfortunately, I don't have any of those paintings anymore. But I sold them, so that was okay back then. They are cute. They are so cute. So, and you can't call to have them removed because they will destroy them. I would never be able to do that. I would never call anybody. So I have to handle this myself. I thought closing my garage door every night, because I used to leave it open when my feral cat was out there. I used to leave the garage door open that much so she could get in and out. And so could the raccoons, and so could anything else. But after I brought the cat in, I started shutting the garage all the way. And I've had it shut, but somehow that raccoon got in there, and I'm not sure how she did it. Unless she did it before I closed the door. That could have been before I closed the door down in the evening. You couldn't do it either. No. Hey, I don't even, I got so upset because the feral cat, mama cat that's in here now, she's no longer feral, but she's a good hunter. And she will go down and keep the mice situation in tow in my basement. And however, she brought up a chipmunk yesterday or the day before. She's running around with it. And I thought it was still alive, so I made her drop it. Unfortunately, it wasn't, but I took it away from her because I didn't want her eating this big chipmunk. It's not big, but they're bigger than mice, so I didn't want her eating this in front of me. So I took it out and put it in the burial spot where I throw other dead things that I get a hold of. In fact, even if she gets a mouse that she hasn't devoured yet, I take it away from her. Yeah, the poor little chipmunk. I have hundreds of chipmunks around this house. But unfortunately, it got into the house somehow. Well, anything can really get into my basement. Yeah. Yeah, this house is built in 1850, and the basement or the cellar is made of boulders. It can't be made secure. So, yeah, things get down there. Nothing as big as a raccoon, but I've had a little red squirrel get in. That's probably the largest. Little red squirrel, chipmunks, lots of mice. But mama cat keeps them from running over the house. Now, big fat Maddie, she is not a hunter. She'll just sit and watch. So the chicken that was broody, I noticed that she came out off the nest yesterday and today. And when I went and checked the nest, she had laid an egg. So this may mean she's not broody anymore. Hopefully. Unless she fooled me and was sitting on somebody else's egg, which that could be. But she was off the nest is the thing. You do cat rescues, so you feed coons so they don't eat my cats. Oh, I've seen cats and raccoons eat right together. I suppose it depends on the raccoons and how hungry they are. Cats can be pretty aggressive. My daughter rescues cats too. Yeah. Posh Planet. Those cat rescues. I told my daughter she should come on here sometime. Right now she is laid back down because she gets migraine headaches, and she has a headache today, so she's not going to be on here today. Mm. Yeah, I hate to see any animals during this whole thing that's going on with the crowds and the stuff that happened a few nights ago with the looting, and they had the police on mounted horses. Of course, that's what my daughter was afraid of, that the horses would get hurt. I raised both of my kids to be big time animal lovers. So they are both very much animal lovers. So was my husband, the cop. He chose between going to further on to college and being a vet or being a cop. And he chose being a cop. I sort of wish he would have been a vet. It would have cost us a lot less money for animals. That's because they have food. Raccoons are opportunists. Yeah, they eat whatever is easy. Well, I put out a few things. They didn't eat tomatoes. Mama that I'm talking about. And she didn't eat the mandarin oranges I put out. Now, I went online and asked if they eat oranges. And yes, they do. And they'll peel them and everything. So I threw out some mandarin oranges that were getting too ripe. And no, she left them. For several nights, I finally threw them away. Yeah. She probably has enough to pick from right now. But she loved the watermelon, I must say. Your city's on curfew 8 p.m. to 6. That's what Cleveland, what is today? Cleveland just opened the city this morning. It was completely on lockdown. The whole city, inner city, was complete lockdown. There was nobody on the streets. My son couldn't go to work because they're working in a building down there, putting the old May company into apartment buildings, and they couldn't go to work. They weren't letting anybody in there except the people that live there. But I suppose he went back to work today. Yeah, they'll have a curfew at 8 here too. I hope the rioting is over. I hope it's just the peaceful demonstrators. Oh, in Lansing, they got to your governor's office and went into a bank. Ooh. Yeah. I think they found out in Cleveland, yeah, they practically destroyed the downtown in Cleveland. All the windows of all the stores, everything, all the restaurants completely broken out. And the few arrests that they did get to make during the rioting had out of town addresses. So a lot of these rioters, they come in and they follow along in the protester group until they split off. It happens in every city, and they just take that opportunity to loot and to destroy. My question is, what do they get out of it? I mean, what in the earth do they get out of this? If they go from city to city doing this. But yeah, The whole thing is just sad. But I have to stay away from listening to CNN hour after hour. Concentrate on eBay here. After my huge vet bill and then the board, I'm going to get my bill for board. My May board will be coming any minute here in the email. And I barely have enough for my eBay business account to pay for my board, and it certainly didn't pay for my vet bill. So I have to get back up to snuff here. Well, I'm going to close, and I will be back on Sunday to tell you what I sold this week. I had the first time ever over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I had 3 over $100 sale days in a row. That's the first time I've had 3 in a row. So that was good. I wish it would just continue and continue. Yes, I hope everybody comes back on Sunday, hoping things have calmed down by then. And I'm going to try to get busy and get this stuff all listed and see where that takes me. So everybody stay well. Remember, the pandemic hasn't left. It's still here. They're just not talking about it as much because of this other stuff. So, but I hope this doesn't make it spike. So I will send the notifications out. Yes, stay healthy, stay well, and I'll see you Sunday. Bye.